what has happened here with our two divisions. And we have here to my immediate right, Brother Bull, Brother Wade from Bus Division, and from my immediate left, we have Sister Sablee and Sister Tammy from Marine and Ports. My name is Arnold Smith, I'm the organizer here at the BIU. We have a scenario of health and safety. Health and safety. And both areas of transport, Department of Public Transportation, including the bus, and Department of Marine and Ports, whereas we, the membership, feel that the area is unsafe. Unsafe. We must understand that with this COVID-19 pandemic, the year 2020, we had one strain. The year 2021, we're dealing with a different strain. And it seems to be more aggressive. Yes? So precautions with that. And what we have recognized is that there's been a lack of action when it comes to securing and making sure that our membership feel safe. Now, we understand that the pandemic, yes, it hitting all parts of Bermuda. We recognize that the numbers are going high. We recognize that it appears to be more aggressive, if I can say that, in its attempts of what it's doing. But we're not addressing it aggressively in the same manner. And that seems to be the problem. Now, for a lack of action on behalf of management, when it comes to deep cleaning, and let me just say, deep cleaning means the window sills, it means the tracks that the buses run on, it means everything, deep cleaning. When I talk about with my sisters here, to my immediate left, when you have the scenario of the ferries being cleaned, when you have the scenario of just the mist being applied, there needs to be more, okay? We have, well, we should have in government areas, temperature checks. Is that being done on the buses? Is that being done on the ferries? Is there a list of people that get on the ferry and get off the ferry, get on the bus and get off the bus? We know for a fact that people come into this building, you must sign in. Number, email. Is that being done in these two areas? Okay? We have to realize the fact that what's happening in certain places in Bermuda, such as a restaurant, are being shut down because of one person being tested positive. We have individuals, more than one, in both the bus division and Marine Ports division, tested positive. Why haven't we shut this service down? So it's understanding to me that something is not being done and something needs to be done. I think I've said enough. Brother Bull, do you care to elaborate in any way?
Sure. Good afternoon to the media. I'm Brother Bull, DPT President. First and foremost, thank you for coming. We would like to make it very clear that I'm speaking as being the president of the bus division. On no ways am I speaking as being the co-chair of safety and health. I'm speaking solely as being the president of the bus division. We would like to make it clear. Last week, we understood there was going back and forth with dialogue with our director at the time, Mr. Maynard Packard. Brother Wade and I asked Mr. Packard if we can have a shutdown for 3 days, being Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, to have the entire facility, meaning Central Terminal, the headquarters, dockyard, and St. George's, deep cleaned. He came back and responded that he does not have authority to do such, and he had to go to Dr. Beans to get further notification. We're finding out now that this is not so, that he has the authority. And of course, thinking about the well-being of your employees, that you should shut down and have a deep clean and not just sanitize or not just clean, but deep clean. As was mentioned just now, we have some spots at DPT definitely where we cleaned last night. I was a part of the cleaning crew last night. We spent 4 hours in just one section doing a deep clean from top to bottom. Why does it take us after wanting to shut down the whole service? And we have multiple, and when I say multiple, more than 2, more than 4, probably more than 5 positive cases at one time at DPT, and over 30 out through to close contact. We're at the point where we almost had to stretch down the service to a bare minimum just to keep it running. And those are the things that we offer to management. But yet, when we talk about getting paid for the time that we've been out, you heard the minister say earlier, no work, no pay. So we have to understand the principle of scenario here. Why does it seem like when BIU takes a stand for safety and health, we're told we're getting penalized? Then the BPSU team took a stand a few months ago that had nothing to do with safety and health, but a measure at their own will. They got paid for it. They didn't notify the public. They didn't notify the director or anyone else that this action was going to take place. The service didn't withstand until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but they got paid. But yet, when we sit up here and we take action because of our safety and health, we're penalized. How is that so? Government could shut down a restaurant for one person being tested positive, but yet we're going to sit up here and say that a department that has more than 5 cases, probably even probably could be 10, is not being shut down. And you're going to sit up here and say that the Ministry of Health has done a fair assessment and said that DPT seems to be up to standard. But yet we did a deep cleaning, and I would love to send the media the videos of what we uncovered last night in the men's room, so that you can physically see the amount of dirt that was in that room and that we have to sit in, eat in, and supposedly socialize in while on our break around our work. This is what we're working with right now. And you're telling us that we have no right to stand up for our own safety and health. How is that physically possible? And of course, when we ask to see the reports, we don't get a response from that. And we ask, please help us understand that our safety and health is not the foremost of the priority. We're told not to put our emotions into it. This is coming from our director, Mr. Roger Torres. Brother Wade and I have had meetings beyond, up until after 10 p.m. at night with the minister, to try and understand how are we wrong for what we're doing. Please show us in the law where we're breaking the law. Show us how we're doing something wrong besides taking care of our well-being, that we have to go back home to our families. The buses and the ferries are probably the 2 most highly populated traffic of transportation that we have in Bermuda. But yeah, we're wrong because we have plus cases. And to make it on top of that, I would let you know, this was said to us, that we've been told that we have no recognition that the cases came from on DPT property. If you know you could be asymptomatic, you know that you can catch it from anyone and anywhere. They may not have a mask, they may touch something, you may touch something. How do you know where it came from? And let's just backtrack for the full measure of this. We had a member that was out and had to be hospitalized. This member, sadly enough, got sick to the point where he was in a real bad state. And he was one of the fittest members of DPT by far. We were told that, okay, the person that he came into contact with, quote unquote, that he was closest to, had got tested and they came back negative. And that was, there was no reason to do. The management team was waiting on government to get back in regards to the contact tracing. But we have found out since then that government has decided you have to do your own contact tracing. So with all due respect, do you not think that if one person was caught for disease in the management system, in the maintenance section, that you should shut down the section and get the section properly clean and let the members know this? We had to go to management and tell them that that's what they should do. Why does it seem like the BIU always has to be the ones to stand up here and lead the forefront? While we still got people, going around in this island daily right now, dying from this disease. We have over 1,500 cases. Between Friday and Monday, we have 5 deaths or 6. And with all due respect, to all the family members that lost a loved one over this past weekend, or period, due to COVID, we are with you. But this fight is way bigger than just DPT. This fight is about our safety across the entire island. And government is making it sound like it's okay. Government is trying to just say, you know what, we sanitize, go back to work. That's all we're worth. That's all we're really worth right now to you. Sanitize, go back to work. That's it. But yet, when you see the footage of the conditions that we're working in and the amount of dirt that has been there for weeks, months, years, it's deplorable. Olivia, you have anything you want to add?
Yeah.
1 second. You can come in. Thank you very much.
Yes, good afternoon, meeting. I think what was concerning for me was the fact that we had about 25 members go out in one day. And that was a cause for concern, but government or the director, management, didn't seem to think that that was a problem. That's what was concerning to me. I've been made to understand that BIU gas station had 1 case. They shut it down. They got everybody tested. They got deep cleaned, and then they opened back up, which is what any right thinking place is supposed to do. I do understand that we have to move the people. I do understand that people rely on public transportation. We do understand that. When we went into the meetings in the early stages, we begged and pleaded with them. Look, the numbers are going through the roof. All we're asking is to shut down from Friday to Sunday, get the buildings deep clean, get the buses clean and sanitized, double up on the cleaning on the buses every day, because the buses, as soon as they come in, they go back out. The buses are in an enclosed space. You have 17 people on the bus. The air don't circulate. They say open the windows, but you have the 9s and some 14s that don't have windows. So what do? You have to run the air conditioning. So all we're saying is because the numbers are going through the roof, give us the time to hit the reset button. That's all we were asking. Our concern was the service is done and how we're going to get it back up and running. We even came to them with an offer as yesterday. Out of 3.5 days that we've been out, we would take 7.5 hours. We would 7.5. Everybody loses a day's pay. Give us 2.5. We'll go back to work. We'll go in on Sunday schedule. So the buses will be running on a Sunday schedule every day, which will ease up, the movement of the people and also the operators. And we'll also stay in our to work on the Sunday schedule. And they declined. They said no work, no pay. So we had a meeting today, took it to our members. Our members said, we're not having it. We came out because of health and safety reasons, and that's the way it's gonna stand. I have had COVID. I know what it's like. It's not a nice feeling to be done. It's not a nice feeling for your whole family to be done. I have a 75-year-old mother at home who was suffering from cancer and was doing chemo at the same time she caught COVID. We don't know where it came from, but we had to fight it and deal with it. I fight with people on the bus every day, please wear your mask properly. Please wear your mask properly. Please sanitize every day before you meet people. Most people abide by the law that is given, but there are quite a few of them that they just don't care. So this is what we're dealing with, and who feels it knows it. So what the minister was stating earlier was totally untrue, totally untrue. We gave them ample notice. We were in dialogue with Mr. Packwood. They said that they had to do an investigation. What more investigation do you need than the numbers that are going up? Truth is absolute. What more do you need? So our people are coming to us, our members are coming to us, and they're scared out of a bit saying, what are you gonna do? What's going on? This is out of control. Just found out another friend of mine who's an operator caught it, spoke to him today, his home feeling real bad. Now his whole family's down. But it's enough. Get the place deep clean, do a sanitizing, double up when they clean it, and we could have been back to work Monday morning.
Thank you, Brother Red, Brother Bull, media, Bermuda. As a country going through this, we have to understand this. Each and every one of us should know our status. Let me repeat that. Each and every one of us should know our status. And that's regardless of those who've been vaccinated or not. We need to know our status. And that status says that I'm okay to be around my family members. It says to me that I'm okay to be working. It says to me that I'm okay to do what I need to do to provide for my family. It's important, very important. So, whilst we do see, and it's been reiterated several times, the numbers going up and up and up. The numbers even going higher than it was in 2020. We need to do things better at DPT. We need to do things better at Marine Ports. And we even need to think about Bermuda as a whole. And if we should shut down, but not like we did last year. That's the question. Because something is happening out there. Something is happening out there. So I want to pass it on to my sister to my immediate left, Sister Sept.
Good afternoon, media and the public of Bermuda. I would like to just let everyone know how Marine and Ports actually got to this state. About 3 or 4 weeks ago, Marine and Ports ended up with 30 people out because of persons testing positive at Marine Ports. The service was running, however, we was very short of staff, so it was minimum staff which is on the service, but we made it through. Last week, we had a group of gentlemen come back to work after being off for 2 weeks, come back to work, and we had 2 more gentlemen test positive last week. This group of gentlemen that was out for 2 weeks already had to go home the very first day that they returned back to work, 14 more days. Marine and Ports has turned into a revolving door. You come work and you get sent back home, and nothing's being done. I sent an email on Sunday night to the management team to ask them, has the place been cleaned? I was told the place was cleaned last week. I asked them what happened to the weekend, because we had a person test positive on Friday for COVID. And they told me that they was governed by the Department of Health and that they would see or basically take their advice from the Department of Health. To me, that's unacceptable, because if you go on the government website, you will see that they give you directions of how to clean. And it clearly states that if someone tests positive for COVID, the immediate area should be cordoned off within 24 hours and clean. That has not happened at Marina Ports. Guys leave, people are still there, and they continue to work, and then they come work the next day as if nothing's happened. Now we're to this state. On Monday night, I sent a letter to, actually Monday morning, let me go back. Monday morning, we had a meeting with our management team, letting them know where we stood, because we had a meeting with our divisional, with our members, explaining to them this is the situation. The members took a vote and put a motion to the floor and said that they wanted to shut the place down because they felt unsafe coming to work, because of the fact that every time you come to work, somebody's being sent to you, because it is, and the place was just not being cleaned the way it should be. So had a meeting with management on Monday, and funny enough, management actually said that they supported our cause. They supported us in what we was doing in terms of taking this action, standing firm to make sure that things get done. And so Monday night, I sent out a letter to the director of Marina Ports as well as Dr. Beans, explaining to them that as of Tuesday morning at 6 a.m., we will be withdrawing labor under safety and health. As of today, we have not had no dialogue with the Department of Marina Ports, the Minister of Transport, or anybody for that matter. So when I listened to the press conference today from the minister, he didn't really mention Marina Ports as much, but I'm sure we fell under that same category. And we fell under transportation in terms of no work, no pay. But I can guarantee and I can tell you that we have not had any sort of communication with Marina Ports since the meeting we had on Monday morning, telling them that we was going to withdraw labor. Sister Tammy?
Thank you, Sister Sablee. Media, Bermuda, we have to get this right. We have to get this right. It is important for us here at the union. It's important here for us and our immediate families. It's important for us and Bermuda as a whole. Why is it that we can't dialogue continuously and find a solution to the problems that we come across? Why is it? Why is it that we have to go to the extreme? Thank you. And doing things like this to get a solution. We're all grown adults here. We should be able to sit down and have a dialogue. And yes, we understand every dialogue can be pleasant. We get that. But as mature individuals who's looking out for the best interest of this country, we should be able to sit down and have that mature conversation. And it seems as if we cannot. I think that we need to reach out to the Premier and the Minister concerned so we can get this dialogue happening. I think that's important. I think that is important. Sister Sablee, you have something else to add?
Yeah,
Please.
I just wanna let you know that as of today, Marina Foods currently has 22 people out. This is different from the 30 that we had out. So now it's 22. So as you see, the numbers just have so many, then it's just whirling, it's just revolving. And it's the same people. We have people come in and again right back out. So now we got 22 out. And I would add that the only person that we have spoken to, which was yesterday, was Miss Jasmine Smith. And that's it. We haven't spoken to anybody else in regards to this matter because I don't know why they haven't reached out to us.
Now, media, if you have any questions and if we can answer it, we'll answer it. Questions, please.
Owen Johnson Barnes with the Royal Gazette. Just for perhaps clarification, is the union's position that the public health safety recommendations that are in place are not being followed, or is the case that the regulations are not sufficient?
Brother Bull, you want to take that? Sure. I'm gonna turn it over to Brother Wade.
What they have in place, one, it's not being followed. Not all of it, but most of it is not being followed. The other is that because everything is changing now, the numbers are going up, the island's upside down, it's time to beef it up. And that's what we were saying. You can't keep doing the same thing and expecting a different result. You can't keep doing the same thing. If you're doing this here and you keep doing it, but yet your numbers are still going up, okay, but we need to try something else. If we're cleaning buses once a day or twice a day, then they go to the ends, and it's not working, then let's clean them 4 times a day. Let's beef it up. Everything is at a height right now. So because everything is at a height, you can't take whatever regimen you have now as standard and say, okay, we have that in place. The numbers are going up, but we got this in place. Yeah, but the numbers will keep going up. Yeah, but we got this in place for you. Yeah, but the numbers will keep going up. So if the numbers are going up, something needs to be done. So yes, they do have measures in place. Some things are being implemented on, but a lot of it is not.
Just to bring up as well to your point that was said just now, I want to piggyback off what Sister Sigli said about Marina Ports. They know how many members they have out. We didn't even get that from our management team or from our director.
They don't even tell us.
We don't even know how many positive cases we have confirmed. We don't even know how many people was out to close contact.
Yeah.
We know nothing of that. So of course, even when we ask,
They don't tell us.
we haven't gotten it back. So to piggyback off what you said as well, and this is not to speak as the co-chair, but this is just to direct you or to let you know, there are safety and health mandates in place. But like Brother Wade said, when you have more than 5, probably closer to 10 cases, how is it that you have 10 plus cases, more than 30 out last Thursday, Friday, and you say that that is enough? And you sit up there and say to us that, following the mandates, DPT does not need to be deep cleaned. You have so many cases out, and I just want to reiterate something that we were told. Going back through the Ministry of Health, Ms. Suhu Davison. When speaking about this, she did inform us and she gave an excellent job in regards to letting us know that the Delta variant is mostly transmitted by breathing. So of course, wearing a mask, sanitizer is extremely important. And of course, the touch points follow that. She also mentioned, of course, that persons can be asymptomatic, as we already knew, and you have to do your contact tracing now. So when you put all those 3 categories together, if you went to World Gazette this afternoon and you left here, someone tested positive, whether they're asymptomatic or not, what do you think your boss is going to do in regards to the building? Keep it running, we got a service to run, the papers still gotta get done. That's what we do, and of course, when we look at DPT, we're talking about an island-wide service.
Mhm.
Buses run 20 hours or 19 hours a day, from 6 o'clock, 6:15 in the morning, until that 11:45 bus gets in at 12:30. Anyone that gets in a bus, asymptomatic or not, we don't know. So how do we sit up here and feel safe, or is our safety not our concern? So when you have members dropping like, it's okay, just drive. Because we got things in place, so but the Ministry of Health is saying that, everything's okay, so you guys, let's go ahead and drive. How is that possible? Because I would love for someone from the media to ask, the ministry that question. Even the Ministry of Health, if that's applicable. How can you sit up there and say that, the deep cleaning of DPT is not recommended, that the wiping out of the ledges and the window seals is not called for, that the touch points that when the person comes around and cleans is enough? For the first time in about a few years, I watched the men's room last night be deep cleaned. And they did an excellent job, that by our manager, Willis Simons. From top to bottom, everything was scrubbed down and clean. Took us 4 hours for a room smaller than this. And we did it again today by Central Terminal. And we're doing it again tonight in the downstairs of the cafeteria in the ladies' room, to provide a service for all members so that they can feel safe. But yet, it does need to be done.
Thank you, Brother Bull.
Thank you very much.
Let me just touch on that deal. You heard Brother Bull and this recruiter Brother Bull's working with to do the deep cleaning. And these are conscientious workers, knowing that they got to come back there and knowing that the standards that they must set for themselves. And they're here cleaning their own areas because they know what has happened before is inadequate. So these are the responsibilities of our members. Let's not forget that. Any other questions? Oh, sorry. Sorry, Sister Cynthia, I apologize.
To answer your question about the cleaning is effectively inefficient, well, ours is inefficient. We find that far too often we are put in the same category as DPT. One, our boats are way bigger and we carry way more people than DPT. They carry 17 people. Right now, we can carry the one boat.
We're at 50%.
We're at 50% on all our vessels. So that's more than 17 people. So the cleaning that does happen on the boat at the end of the night is just by the crew that's on the boat, but that's not good enough. At least every week the boat should be deep cleaned because we're carrying these people. We don't know what these people are carrying. Just last week alone, because there were no buses, people were going dockyard to get COVID tested using the ferry. How do we know these people were not positive or carrying this virus? We don't know that. So what at this point, what wrong for Don Toodles or, stopping the service to have our boats deep cleaned? And this is all we want, is to have a better cleaning regime. We asked some time ago when we had the last wave of COVID, can we get a schedule of when the deep cleans happen? We are yet to get the schedule. They said it's going to happen quarterly. That's not good enough. Like this COVID thing is serious. And I don't think we should be playing with it. So for us, that's the answer to your question.
Now, government has claimed that the stoppage was illegal because the union didn't follow health and safety dispute procedures. How do you respond to that?
Okay. I don't know what you're talking about in reference to being illegal. I would say it like this here. the responsibility of making sure that the premises at marina ports and at the bus terminal be deep cleaned is at the foot of management. The responsibility is at the foot of management. So had they done what they're supposed to do, then we won't be here. Plain and simple. Next question.
No, Mr.
Can I?
Sure.
Can I answer? Yeah, just to piggyback off what Brother Arnold said, I would like to make it very clear. You said just now that we didn't follow protocol. But of course, the question also has to be asked. And like we said, did any one of those management or director even go and check around the property to see the actual deep cleaning had taken place? We're talking about the safety and health. We're not just talking about a sanitization where we just go around with like static spray and spray around. When was the cleaning actually done? Where you remove the chairs and you wipe the window seals, all the touch points. When was the last time you actually went and did a thorough cleaning? But yeah, you're gonna sit up there and say that we broke protocol by stopping the service, and we asked for it for 3 to 4 days. So with all due respect, were we supposed to wait until the next person died? And we're going back, of course, to this year, or I want to say March, April this year. One of our members died due to COVID. So with all due respect, if a member died due to COVID, one is in the hospital at that time, and we're speaking early last week, fighting for his life, him and his wife. So at what point do we sit up here and say, okay, you know what? Enough is enough. And I must say, and this is without going into any broad detail, or personal detail of it, but as being the co-chair, I asked for a meeting, just so that we can understand, look, we need to step up, and like Brother Ray said, beef up our cleaning. We were not responded back to by management and or the co-chair. I'm not even getting into detail of it, but like I said, you're gonna sit up there and say that government says we didn't follow the protocols of shutting down the service. But yeah, when we called for a meeting, it wasn't advised to. And then, of course, when we did get a response, we're waiting to hear back from the epidemiologists, whatever the terminology is.
Epidemiologist.
So with all due respect, we're waiting to hear back from someone to come into DPT and say that DPT is sanitized and it's clean. But all we asked for was a deep cleaning. Seriously, a deep cleaning. How can we not sit up here and listen to the membership, your people, the crying out for a deep cleaning, the crying out for a cleaning? So I have to ask, in the interest of safety and health, where do we go? Who do you turn to? If you sit up here and you say for yourself that you're crying out, members are going home due to COVID, and then when you have people that are under close contact, they're being told to go get tested. Of course, the test results come back positive, and we're getting a phone call from the job saying that, okay, I need you to return to work until you get your results. Well, with all due respect, let me rephrase that. They're telling members that they need to return to work to get the results. And I'm saying to myself, what if they come back positive? And luckily enough, one of the members came back and got the results back, and it was positive. So what if he would have came back to work while he was waiting for his results?
Yeah.
And this is where I think we need to really be mindful as management, and as they sit up and say, oh, and of course, let's go back. And we had our situation back in April, where we shut down the service after that Friday afternoon and we got tested. And then, of course, because we asked to be tested because we had about 5 cases at that moment, and we said that we're not returning to work until we got our results back, we had one more positive case amongst our members. But, with all due respect, return to work, even though that one positive case was amongst our members. So I'm trying to understand right now, and like Brother Arnold said, maybe it's time for the minister and the premier and whoever else from Ministry of Health have a sit down with us and help us understand, how do we not look out for our own health and well-being when we come to this matter? as we transport, as we go about, and as being a unionized organization, we have to be very mindful, of course, of how we deal with these things and how we go about our business. So we're crying out to management internally. We didn't just want to shut down the service, like Brother Wade said. We tried to get this done without, having to impact those who have to go to work. When was the last time you heard that Marine and Ports and DPT had to have a shutdown because of, a matter of this magnitude? Think about what's going on right now, and I would love for you guys to ask the government the exact same questions. How was DPT run? What law did they break in regards to wanting to have their property deep cleaned for 3 days? Marine and Ports has got it up to, where they got to be up probably now for 2 weeks. All we was asking for was 3 days just to be deep cleaned while we work on our Sunday work, so that we can still have a service for the public. So we know right now what the public is crying out for. And we just ask for the public to physically understand how we're dealing and what we're dealing with at DPT. You hear our cry right now. You hear how we are being as passionate as we can be, and we want to return back to work and serve you. But your government, my government, is sitting up here being the way they are. And we cannot stand for that. And we ask for the patience, we ask for the people to please work with us as we get through this time so that we can get back to serving you as soon as possible.
Thank you, Brother Bull. I think Brother Bull summed it up. We, the union, want to get a resolution to this. We, the union, are willing to sit down and have that conversation. We, the union, don't have a problem in dealing with the Minister of Transportation, the PS of Transportation, the Premier, or whomever they would like to bring. But we must get this resolved. That is our point. We have made several attempts to get it resolved. We made several proposals to get it resolved. We're looking for answers to come back from the management of Marine and Ports, management of bus services. And it seems to be that it's shortcoming or not coming to us. Okay? If there isn't any more questions, we need to wrap this up. We want to, on behalf of the Bermuda Industrial Union, Bus Division, as well as the Marine and Ports, we want to thank the media and thank Bermuda as a whole. Thank you. Good afternoon.